of the show. I couldn't figure out this audio, man. It's so frustrating. All right. 10-1. I got to say, I'm kind of sad that the season's almost over. Please leave your comments. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about your comments. All the comments. We are live. Absolutely 100% live. I'm sad because the football season's almost over. But I'm happy that we're 10-1. I do want to say, hold on, Forrest. I do want to say before Forrest gets into the numbers and stuff, I want to get this off my chest because I was going at it with some people on Twitter, and I'm not a Twitter person, Forrest, but I was getting at two things I want to talk about. I went after our defense the first half. I know they only scored one touchdown, but it felt like, and you're lying if you don't agree, it felt like it was going to be one of those games where 3rd and 11, they run the ball for 11 yards. They got 3 out of 4 third down conversions. And we were like, here we go again. And is it just me, Forrest? Or does it seem like Miami is one possession away from blowing out every team? Like, you can go back to Cal, Virginia Tech. This game, it was 17-7. If they didn't run that kickoff back, I felt like Miami would have scored again, and it would have been just a rout. I feel like we're just one play away, but we can't break that one play away to just blow people out from the beginning. We still won 42-17, and that's how good the offense is. In the second half, though, big shout-outs. Defense held up, crushed it. I told you, last podcast, I told you Kiko was going to bring it. Kiko was going to bring it. He brought it. And, man, I'm just so happy for the defense. They went back to a 4-3, played with 3 linebackers. It just looked right. And I said, man, I said this for us, it's feast or famine with our defense. You know what I mean? Go after the quarterback, get some sacks, put pressure on them, because we're not a defense that can hang back. The longer a team has the ball, the less Cam Ward has the ball. So that's my take. Go ahead. What you got to say for us?
First of all, you have Rudy Pavich up there in my name. That's fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Oh, I can fix that. Hang on one second.
But I don't want people to get
confused. For us. You ego driven. You ego driven.
No. I don't want people to get confused because there was one episode I missed because my voice is almost back when I was sick. And I did watch the episode, and I did notice that Rudy said he was better looking than me. You guys don't think I watched that episode. just saying that, putting that out there. But the Moten, who we've been talking about a lot, he missed the whole first half because of that targeting penalty from the game before. And it's no coincidence that literally like the first drive in the second half, he comes through and makes that sack. I think it was right after X's fumble. He makes that sack, and then we followed up with another sack. And so I'm not saying one person makes our defense, but he has been the catalyst for our defense in recent games and stuff. So that's not a coincidence. But I also think hey, I know it's Wake Forest and their offense isn't a juggernaut offense, but a lot of the teams, we've been saying that every week that we're going to blow out teams. This was a blowout in the end, and our defense for once held us in the game. Like, you can say you weren't pleased 20-14 going in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I looked at it like, holy cow, the other team only has 14 points going into the fourth quarter. What a difference that is in other games where we would have been down 2 touchdowns, and now we have to make this miraculous comeback. Instead, Cam and company just comes in and puts the throttle down in the fourth quarter, and we win going away,
I don't understand what's happening to our offense in the second quarter. I mean, it's pretty consistent. Second quarter, we're not a good offensive team. I don't know what's going on there. But look, we're 10-1. Lyle played a great game. I'm an AJ Allen fan. But Lyle, he's a beast too. And this is where I got in the argument. And Joshua, this is all I'm going to say. It's going to be like a minute rant, and then I'm done with it. This is all I'm going to say, Joshua. People saying, this is what I hate with people in my timeline. And if this is you're not a football knower. You know nothing about football. This is what I'm going to say. People were like, well, obviously, Fletcher, Martinez, and Lyle are better than AJ. That's why he's not playing. You're dumb. If that's you, you're dumb. Stupid. It's not about, I'm not saying who's better than other players. What I'm saying is AJ Allen is too much of a weapon to be sitting on the bench. Too much. And I told everybody he's transferring. I believe 100% he's transferring. I know he's transferring. And if I could pick what school he's going to, it would be Florida. I would love AJ Allen to go to Florida and just beat the crap out of Miami. Not win the game, but just run all over Miami for 4 quarters, and then we pull it out in the end. I would love that. That would make me so happy. As long as we win the game, Miami wins the game. Now, trust me, AJ Allen, I love you. But you ain't bigger than Miami to me, all right? But I would love for him to go to Florida when we play Florida next year. And they come to Miami. And AJ Allen comes back to that stadium and rushes for over 200 yards on Miami. Loses the game, but rushes for over 200 yards. I'd be so happy about that. So, and then they're saying, well, politics don't matter. AJ Allen is not playing because of politics. And if you don't believe me, just look at Barron, who got benched, played 2 plays this week. Why do you think Akeem Mesidor is on the inside instead of playing in? Because they gave that bag. They gave a big bag to Barron. Big bag to Barron. And you think they didn't pay that bag to Akeem Mesidor? So they're like, Akeem, you're going to have to sacrifice for the team. Did you see the interviews with Akeem Mesidor? Did he ever look happy in those interviews? He was like, nah, I'm not really comfortable there. I'm just doing it for the team. Why do you think he did it for the team? Politics, because they were paying a bag to Barron. And then what happened when they put him back on the outside? What happened? What happened, Forrest? Tell me about Akeem Mesidor this week.
Do you want me to talk about AJ Allen or Akeem Mesidor?
No. Akeem Mesidor real quick. We'll get back to AJ Allen. Okay. Didn't he have like 4 sacks or something?
What's that?
Didn't he like disrupt a lot of plays? He had like 5 or 6 tackles.
Kiko
had 12 tackles.
He had 7 tackles, 3 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Yeah. He was the second leading tackler on the team behind
all you people that were in my timeline saying there's no politics in the running back room. You ignorant, you're dumb, you're stupid. If NIL is involved, they're gonna play those players. They're paying them. You don't think they're running backs that are just as good as DJ Martinez on our team? You got 3 of them. But guess why they playing Martinez? Because they paying him a bag. Come on now, people. Stop being ignorant with me. Stop being ignorant with me. All right.
I think also the blocking. We've talked about it before with AJ Allen.
Okay. See, that's another thing.
Now you got to let me talk. You can't talk for 5 minutes and not let me talk.
Okay. You say it. Go ahead.
But we know our buddy Ken Ward likes to extend plays, sometimes to a fault, especially the one play in this game, which we're always going to let him go. But it doesn't mean we can't mention him, like when he does something like absent-minded, let's say. But he loves to extend the play. And if AJ Allen's back there, he's just getting run over. He's not going to have that. That's we've talked about it this whole season. The blocking is the issue. You don't think it is. But
you let me know when I can talk.
Go ahead, talk.
Okay. Show me one play this year where AJ Allen got ran over. Show me one play this year where he was in the game and he missed a block. Show me one play this year where he didn't pass pro good.
Yeah, I got to get the film.
No, you can't. You can't, because it's never happened. And people still bringing up pass blocking. I don't know about practice, but in the games, he's never missed a block. I can show you Martinez missed a block. I can show you Fletcher missed a block. I can show you Lyle missing blocks.
Well, they're playing more.
They play a lot more, obviously. Yeah. They play a lot more. But stop with this narrative that he can't block, because I have not seen that in a game. I have not seen that in a game. Besides this weekend live with that 16-point average, AJ Allen has the highest average per carry. Limited action, obviously. But don't tell me it's not politics. He's on the bench.
Well, how about this?
I don't make this whole podcast about AJ Allen. But what I'm saying is, don't say NIL and politics don't have a factor in that running back room or on that defensive line, which you have seen that they're actually much better with Akeem Mesidor playing in, which this show right here has been saying for 5 or 6 weeks. Go ahead.
Well, we could rename this podcast Comics on Canes. We will talk about AJ Allen. I don't want to make this podcast about AJ Allen, but I do. So look, I don't want to stay on him. Look, this is maybe I will say this and then we'll stop talking about him. Maybe there's a long play here where we don't use AJ Allen that much, And when it comes time for that ACC championship game or that first playoff game, and we roll them out there and they haven't prepped for him, maybe that's the long play by crystal ball here. Whereas, like, I want to hide this guy until we're playing. I'm just throwing out a conspiracy here for you in a good way.
Thank you.
But I would like to say, though, that, you know, and I know that's what podcasts, radio programs for sports. If you're not bitching about something, then you're not doing it right, you know. But I actually watched this game. Did not think we were going to lose it at any point.
No,
I was really, I for once was like, wow, our defense kept us in a game. I can't say it enough. Like, they made plays, especially in the second half. First half, the kickoff return, obviously, and then they had 2 long drives. That one ended in the pick six, which, again, that's still defense, though. We haven't been getting turnovers. And not only do we get turnovers on defense, we got them on special teams. I want to give a shout out. It's Dylan Day and Bobby Pruitt, 2 young guys that, you know what I'm saying, that cause that fumble and they're in the recovery and stuff. And I've been saying this for weeks. It's like, we need more turnovers. Not only do we get more turnovers, we had pick 6, we had turnovers on special team. I just felt like we were in their backfield. We were sacking their quarterback all day. Like, he was miserable, you know, like, and I just felt I was happy about the fact that for once it wasn't like on Cam's shoulders. Like, hey, at the end of the game, let's put the gas down. Let's close this out. And again, it was a blowout in the end. I know it was 2014 going into that, but I just was happy kind of with the turn of events, the way it turned out, the game. Personally.
Oh, of course. I mean, it was never a question they were going to win that game, but I'm just saying that first half, look, special teams, you need to stop. Kick the ball out of the end zone, please.
Yeah.
How hard is that? Kick the ball out of the end zone. You got one of the best kickers. Kick it out. I've heard all these rumors that, Mario wants it in play. Do you get the ball further if you kick it out of the end zone? Where do you get the ball?
No.
25?
No, it doesn't matter. As long as it's a touchback, you get it the same spot. So
I don't know, man. Like,
but I mean, I will say this, though, before I give the defense too much credit, though, is I felt like their game plan like fed into what our strengths was on our defense, where but they're not really that skilled enough. And also Claiborne, who is definitely good and a player, something was wrong with him after that kickoff return. You know, he was vomiting, and then he just kind of wasn't himself the rest of the game, thankfully, because he was, you know, he started off like killing us. So it's just like, you know, but
this is what I know. I know like the defense played well, and I'm happy. I'm happy they got it together. Now, a lot of people on the boards, I read a lot of boards, a lot of people saying maybe this was the light bulb that went off. Remember, they changed the defensive scheme. They're 4-3. They played 3 linebackers. Are they going to play that against Syracuse, a team that throws the ball all the time? I've said this for 2 weeks now. High risk, high reward. You got to go after the quarterback. Miami's best rushing. Kiko played his best game because he kept everything in front. I don't remember one time Kiko dropped back to cover a receiver. I think once, a running back, but he never left his formation. You know, actually, they put Kiko, they blitzed him from the end a lot this game, which was different. And then the other 2 were playing. One was playing middle, and Kiko was almost like an outside linebacker playing right beside the end sometimes, which was I thought was a great wrinkle. But I just think that's where Kiko plays his best. Yeah. Not in coverage, everything. And this was the first time that defense felt like a defense. And I don't know. I don't scheme it up. I don't know if you can play a 4-3 against a really big time passing offense. But I will say this. Letting a team keep the ball 9 minutes ever. That means that's 9 minutes. Cam Ward is not on the field. I would rather them score. Of course, I wouldn't want them to score, but I would rather them score in 3 minutes than keep the ball for 10 minutes and score. So, because that gives Cam Ward, like I said, give Cam Ward the ball 11, 12 times, you're going to score 6 or 7 times. So the odds are in your favor.
Yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh, this is the other thing I just made a note of during the game is like, I know that he got 6 targets this game. I'm pretty sure Elijah. Let me check to make sure I'm right here. Yeah, Elijah Arroyo, 6 targets. 6 receptions, sorry. 79 yards. I feel like our tight end room is like Elijah to me should be getting 10 receptions. Like you cannot use him enough because there's not in the college world. There are very few players that we're going to meet up. I don't care when we get into the playoffs and we start meeting all the big dogs and stuff. There are very few players that are going to be able to cover Elijah Arroyo. It's like every play you could throw to him. And I know it's like, well, we're going to spread it around. We're going to give a little Jacoby George had a nice game too. And, X is going to get his and everybody else. But you cannot throw it to our tight ends enough is what I would say as we get into the Syracuse game, the ACC championship game, hopefully, and so on. It's a problem. And I know 6 receptions is a lot, but I think you could throw it to him, 3-4 more times a game.
All right. 2 comments. Jacoby George, big shout outs to him. Senior, graduating, played great this year. Playing great. A lot of things he's doing you don't see is because he's blocking hard, and so many players on other teams are trying to provoke him, and he hasn't gone off the handle. A lot of players are playing dirty against him, giving him cheap shots to see if they get a reaction. Big shout outs to Jacoby George. If a receiver breaks for a touchdown, Jacoby George is always running beside him trying to get that last block. So, man, hell of a year, Jacoby George. Senior, I'm sad you're leaving, but you definitely turned it around because a lot of people, and I was one of them, that were like, yo, man, you're making some stupid fouls as a junior. You're doing getting us terrible penalties, but he turned it around. Big shout outs to Jacoby George. Now, as far as Arroyo, he already walked for senior day. So he's gone. He's a junior, but he's gone. He's leaving. It's pretty much, that's why he walked. He did his senior day, and he's going to go pro because that touchdown he scored last week, not this week, but last week. Yeah. Did you see they clocked him at like 21 miles per hour, over 21 miles per hour? That's what running backs run. And he's 245 pounds.
He still has the play of the year running down the interception, and I'm gonna forget which game was it. Virginia Tech.
No, 100%. It saved the game.
Yeah, it saved the Virginia game. Tech. Yeah, I mean that to me is the play of the year. And when you watch that, I watched that probably 50 times, and I'm just it's
unbelievable.
Like the DK Metcalf level of that rundown on the interception. It's
and the difference with he can block too. He puts it all on the line, and rumors are he's a second round guy. I mean, but to me, if I was a scout and I'm not, I'd be like, yo, if we need a tight end and that's our priority for, say, we got to establish quarterback and we need a great tight end, Arroyo's he's a star. That dude's going to be around unless he gets hurt. He's injury prone, but if he does, and knock on wood, because he's such a good player, hopefully he doesn't get hurt. But that dude's a beast, man. Arroyo is a beast.
If you were a scout, they would be drafting AJ Allen first next year in the.
Oh, if I was a scout, man, let me tell you something. Let me tell you, if I was a scout,
New York Giants on the clock.
To me, you brought him up. AJ Allen to me is ATN at Georgia. Same type of back to me. Exactly same back to me. So go ahead. What other stats we got?
It was just it was like I said, I always talked about it right at the beginning. Moten to me is really like a difference maker, and it's not, like I said, it's not a coincidence that as soon as he entered the game in the third quarter, since he wasn't allowed to play the first half, the defense settled down. They were in the backfield all day. Then I think we ended up with 5 sacks, 6 tackles for losses. If I'm not correct, 5 sacks, 6 tackles for losses. We're in that quarterback's face the rest of the game. They couldn't do anything, and I can't say enough about him. And Jordan Lyle was the other one. I mean, you keep saying AJ Allen, but I mean Jordan Lyle to me, every time he's in the game and he touches the ball, it's like electric, And 7 carries, 115 yards. And a touchdown.
And when they gave the ball to AJ Allen, he went over 100 yards too.
No, I'm not. This is not a comparison thing.
No. What I'm saying,
I'm just saying, if they're not going to play AJ as a change of pace, I mean, Jordan is still a different back than Mark and Damian is. So
100%.
Let's see him more. Like if this is who you're going to play as your third back, play him more. Like this game, great, but it's 7 carries for 115, and then Mark and Damian combined 22 carries for 118. So you're looking at it's I mean Mark had that a nice long run, a 30-yard run and so forth, but 228 yards rushing. We're not going to get to 222, by the way.
No, we're not.
But, I mean, they're doing their best. I think we'll get to let me tell you, right now, we are at per game.
What's their average?
Average right now is 181. And it was 170
so it's
last
like
year.
11 yards more than last year?
Yeah. But we have Cam Ward now. We have a different. This is a different. We're not relying on the run as much as we don't need to, but it's but here's the other stats too. And as much as we're like talking about defense could have done this, that, whatever, total yards, Wake Forest game, 508 to 193. We have not seen that since for months like that. And I don't care it's Wake Forest. I don't care. They're still a team in a major conference. I'm happy.
Can I tell you what's crazy?
Yeah.
Watching the Miami defense, they're 14th in the country overall. You know that, right? They're 14th in the country.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like when you watch our team. I don't know what's the disconnect in that. But, I mean, people watching, you agree or disagree, but when we watch our team, they're the 14th best defense in the country. It just doesn't feel like. I don't know why. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm too critical. Maybe I am. Because just think what other teams think when they play us, right? We scoring up and down the field. We'll kind of hang out with you for 3 quarters and then put 20, 21, 28 points up on you in the fourth quarter. Just think what that fan base is going through.
Well, to be fair, right now they're tied for 42nd in scoring at 22.3. So the scoring defense has dropped some. But if you look at
overall defense, what are they overall?
I
thought they were 14th overall.
I just got off that page. I'm just saying the average yards per game we're at 541 and a half per game. And our opponents are at 305. And I think that leads to what you're speaking about, where it's like, it doesn't feel like that because we're like getting all these tight games. We're having to come back to win, etc. I think it goes back to what you said. There's and football's always been like this. There's that one play or that one touchdown you didn't get, or that one catch that was dropped, or that one fumble. We've had a lot of that this year where it's kept the games closer than they should have been, where we're not completing, we're not completing the games. We did this game, the defense held them to 0 in the second half. We came through at the end, but there's these other games where we like make one little error. Maybe there's a bad penalty or something, and then all of a sudden it's a 1-score game instead of us being up by 21.
Well, they get a kickoff return.
Yeah, exactly, which is rare these days. So
this is an hey, drop your comments. I want to read them on the air. This is our almost instant reaction. We're comics, so we're on the road Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We come back, and Monday is the first day we can get back to you. But it's a Canes thing. Said I would make an offer to Allen to stay and be the second guy behind Fletcher. Well, let me tell you something. Damian Martinez might be here next year because he didn't walk senior day. That's the rumor. He might not go pro because it's a loaded running back class. You got the Genty guy. I mean, I don't know all the running backs, so I don't want to pretend like I do. But watching TV, there's like 10 running backs that are highly rated. So this is a very stacked running back class. So don't be shocked if Damian Martinez comes back next year. I wouldn't be shocked at all, especially since he didn't walk. If he would have walked, it would have been like, well, it looks like he's leaving. But I don't think he ranks that high on this running back class that's out there.
Yeah. By the way, just to go back, we are 14th overall in defense. You are correct.
I know I'm correct, Forrest.
Okay, well,
I know that, Forrest.
Speaking of not being
correct, Forrest.
Yeah, speaking of not being correct, your boy Genty, he had 169 for a touchdown, so that's an off game for him, according to you. There's this guy at Arizona State who's come on strong. They beat BYU. Scatabo. I just love his name. Scatabo is his name. He had 147 and 3 touchdowns last week, but he's been doing that all season. So I think you're right. There is a lot of running backs this year. I think he falls a lot because you put all the running backs ahead of him and then everything else, quarterbacks, and there's a lot of wide receivers coming out this class. I think you're right. I think he might come back.
No, he should come back because he's not the best running back in the class anymore. Because once you come to Miami, what I love that Miami kind of did with the backs, and if I was Damian Martinez too, let's be honest, Genty's going to get all the hype going into the draft. But if you can test well and have a good year in college football, you'll get drafted, most of the time. And the difference is David Martinez is a big back, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's going to have to be some agreement on Miami's side to play him more, because I go back and forth on this. If you're a running back, your average career is like 3 years in the NFL. I think it's 2.5 actually, because you get beat up so much. So it's good that Damian Martinez is not getting all the load of the runs, because you can stay fresh and actually have legs for the NFL. The bad thing about that, you can't show you're the feature back either. So I don't know how Damian and his team are going to play that. Do you like, all right, I made it through the year. We went to the playoffs, or we got, wherever Miami goes, hopefully they get to the playoffs. But do you go, all right, well, I'm good. I'm going to go pro and test. Or do you look at the running back class next year? It's kind of like a Cam Moore thing. I think he might do the Cam Moore thing. It's like, yo, this quarterback class is stacked. I'm coming back. And Damian Martinez, I believe, thinks he can play in the NFL. I think he's good enough. He's a big back. Of course he can play in the NFL. But if there's 10 backs, like this Genty guy, what Genty is to me is an A.J. Allen type of back.
Okay.
A fast, quick back that's powerful.
Sure.
Damian Martinez, he's powerful, but he's not fast. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I would wait for the next class. And I'm not crapping on Damian. I think he's great. I think Mark Fletcher is great. Lyle's a beast. This is nothing about – it's great to have a running back room where you got so many great running backs. But Genty, to me, is the style of a Lyle, a style of a A.J. Allen, a style of – you even got ATN going into the draft. So, yeah, you should slow your roll and just stay another year at Miami. I don't know – and if you do stay at Miami, though, you're going to lose some commitment. These backs aren't going to play because they've already seen how it's going to play out,
Yeah. Well, the new rankings are out. I don't know if you saw them, at least the.
Now I want to talk about that. Let's talk about the rankings. This is the first thing I want to say.
Yeah.
AP rankings. Notre Dame is what, 5 now?
Notre Dame is up to 5. They moved up 1 spot.
All right. I want to throw this scenario at you and tell me what you think, since they're an independent school. They lost at, what was it, NIL or NIU or something like that?
Northern Illinois, yeah.
If they lose, and all the people watching right now, I want to know your opinion too. If they lose to USC, which is a very bad football team as well, do you think they'll still make the college football playoffs, or will they fall off the top 12?
Yes, I think they'll make the college football playoffs, though.
To me, they shouldn't, and they won't.
I don't think they should either. But the fact that Alabama is 13th in the AP poll still is all you need to know about who's making these decisions. It's insanity.
But
that they're even in the top 25. They've lost to 2 unranked teams. One of them they scored 3 points against last week. 3 points. If we scored 3 points against Wake Forest and lost to them, we'd be 100th right now. Like, it's crazy that they're in the top 25, let alone the top 20.
It's so much bias right now. AP poll, yes, you're right. Who said that? AP poll means nothing right now. You're absolutely right. Plank time. What's up, Plank time? Plank time. Big shout outs to him. He donates some money. I don't know. What's it called, Plank time? Is it called super chat money, or is it called badges? I don't even know. But big shout out to you. Thank you for tossing some cash on my birthday. But Plank time. Yeah, AP polls doesn't matter, but it does show you where coaches' heads at, where the bias is at. And I feel if you're Notre Dame and you lose to Northern Illinois and you lose to USC, who's a 5 and 6 school, not that good, you should not make the playoffs. Oh, thank Plank Time for the but how do I put that? Tim, thank you, Plank Time. Appreciate you, man. Every show, man, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I don't think they make it. I don't think the committee will make it because they'll be trying to get in SEC schools. Like, you can get rid of Notre Dame, an independent school, kind of force them to commit to a school, to a conference, because they can't play a championship. I don't think they make it just because they're not.
Yeah, but if it comes down between Notre Dame and
Alabama, Alabama's going.
Well, Notre Dame's we're talking still a lot of money, a lot of prestige, a lot of eyeballs, a lot of TV. It's still that
that's where you're wrong. It's no money. It's no money for ESPN. SEC is money for ESPN. They run things. Notre Dame are confused, but so were Alabama, so were all these SEC schools.
I just they get as much, maybe not as much as Alabama, but they still get a lot of favoritism looked at them. Somebody put in the comments there, and I'm sorry, I don't know where it is. It's up here. It's a Kane thing. Notre Dame lost to NIU. We lost to Georgia Tech. We're both 10-1. Somehow they're ahead of us. And Georgia Tech's, what are they? They're 7-4 right now. It's not like we lost on the road to a team we shouldn't have lost to, but Georgia Tech's not bad. There's not a bad school. I know they had to pull one out against NC State last week, but there's still it's just the hypocrisy is insane. When I saw those rankings, I was like, this can't be the new rankings. You've got our buddy Kelsey's school, Ole Miss, loses to Florida. They have 3 losses. Still, let's put them in the top 20 still. South Carolina, 3 losses, keep them in the top 20. And they're like, well, they're playing all these SEC schools. I'm like, at some point, you have to say the SEC isn't as good as you think it is. Otherwise, I mean, you want to say Tennessee is good and you want to say Texas is good, fine. And Georgia, maybe, but it's like all these teams like, oh, they're beating up on each other. Florida, everyone said wasn't good when we beat them. Now all of a sudden, that's a good loss.
Wait a minute. Who did didn't Cal beat Auburn?
Cal beat Auburn, yeah.
And then who did Auburn just beat?
Let me check. I didn't even see the Auburn score. I was looking at all the other here.
No, Auburn won. Who'd they play?
Here, one second. Auburn just Texas A&M 43-41.
Exactly. That's my point. Cal beat Auburn at Auburn.
Yeah, it's silly. Georgia, by the way, gave up 21 points to UMass. I don't even think UMass's football team is. I don't even think they give scholarships. I think that's just that people want to play. Like just the whole nerve of this self perpetuating boosting of their own records in the SEC is just BS. It's
but they have to do it for us. It's business. It's money. It's business. They got to do it. They got to do it because that's where their money's coming from, man. It is coming from the SEC. It's coming from what's that other conference? The Big 12? No,
Big 10. Big 10.
It's coming from the Big. That's where their money is, man. So they're going to do anything to keep those teams in the playoffs. That's why you have a 3-loss Alabama team, which is absolutely ridiculous at 13. That's why I'm saying Notre Dame loses to USC. They won't make the playoffs, and they shouldn't. You shouldn't make the playoffs losing to Northern Illinois and USC. You should not make the playoffs. There's no way you should make the playoffs. None.
I would have, honestly, in the top 25 right now, I would have 4 SEC schools ranked. And right now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, it's BS. But anyways, look, we got to win out. We got to win out. And
I'm not worried about us. We know, to me, if they lose to Syracuse, Miami should not, and they won't make the playoffs, but they shouldn't. If Miami loses to SMU, I don't care if they don't make the playoffs. They shouldn't. Miami should be rolling through this conference. All right? There's no team on our level of skill. SMU has backup players for Miami. And if your coaching is that bad,
CL 92 says Ball State beat NIU. Is that right? I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, everybody beats. It's not like it's not like Northern Illinois is killing it for us.
No, I know, but I'm just like, didn't we beat Ball State?
Yes.
Okay.
So CL Smooth 92 says G-Tech is not a middle of the pack. I think Georgia Tech is like 7-3 now or 7-4 or something.
7-4. They're 7-4. Yeah. It's Northern Illinois right now. This is who Notre Dame lost to. I'm getting you there. They're what are they? They are 6-5, 7th in the MAC.
Look at that. Look at that. 7-5, and they beat Notre Dame. Look, you play that game happens 100 times. Notre Dame will win 99 times. I get that. I understand that. Beginning of the year, I don't care. But if Notre Dame loses to USC, which I think is a good possibility for some reason, if they lose that game, I will put money on it. Because of the SEC and Big Ten bias, Notre Dame won't make the playoffs, even though they bring a lot of money. But they don't, guess what? They don't bring a lot of money to those conferences. They don't bring a lot of money to ESPN. So that's why ESPN they're gonna justify. The committee's gonna be like, why would we put a team in the playoffs that lost to Northern Illinois and USC?
I don't think they're gonna lose to USC, but we'll see. But I hope they do. I always hope Notre Dame loses every game. By the way, we beat Ball State 62-0.
Yeah.
Come on. Just do a little research, voters. Just a little research. I'm not saying you got to make us number one, but like the fact that we've still been floating around in the lower part of the top 10 and that is just absolute BS. So anyway.
For anyone watching right now that knows about defense, look, we all agree Miami played great defense. With Syracuse's offense, can you play a 4-3 and be effective, or do you have to go back to the 5? What's he playing, like a 4-2-5, or what's it called? That defense he plays, a 5-3-3, 5-3 something. What is that? Do you think
5-3 is better because you had like 12 men on the field with the other one? So yeah,
yeah, well, yeah, whatever. 5-3-3, is that what he'll play again? Yeah. I don't know. If you can play a 4-3 against that probably not, because they throw so much, but that's what I'm interested in. Anybody who knows about defense, definitely hit me up. All right. So tomorrow, me and Forrest, and I'll probably have Gio Milian. I'm going to hit him up. We're going to talk about the Syracuse game. And tomorrow, I'm going to give a person a chance to win $200 from the Syracuse game. I'll give you all that info tomorrow. We'll be doing it around the same time tomorrow as well. For everybody watching, thank you so much. Subscribe. To win the money, you have to be subscribed. I'll tell you how you can win it tomorrow. Joshua, as always, he's one of the best artists in the game. He's all about the Canes. This dude right here, make sure you follow him. He's a beast. He made the Sebastian doing the Selly. That's right. He killed that. So, man, and Plank Time. Got to give a shout out to Plank Time every single time. And look, Plank Time, you don't have to drop money every single time. But I just appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. And for all the other people, yeah, Jimmy Benjamin, go Canes. Go Canes. Let's see. Joshua, Miami opens the season next year. Wait. Miami opens up next year with Notre Dame?
Yeah, correct.
Where at? Hard Rock? Or is it at Dallas Stadium or something like that? Where's that game? Somebody hit me up. Where's that Notre Dame game at?
I know they open with them. Here we go. Load. It is at Hard Rock. It's either going to be August 28th through September 1st. They don't have the date locked down. It says August 30th right now, but they can float it, if they need to. It's right now, but it says August 30th right now. Hard Rock, Miami Gardens, Florida. There you
go. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I gotta go to that Notre Dame game, man. As soon as tickets, I don't care. I gotta get good seats. We're gonna do this. I actually think, I know we all saying in the portal, we're gonna get a portal. I think Emery will be the quarterback though.
Well, we got a nice start to the schedule there. In Notre Dame, yeah. And don't forget, we got Florida at Hard Rock next year too. So
3 weeks later.
Yeah. Now it's the fourth game. It looks like we got Bethune-Cookman and USF in between them, and then Florida. Yeah. So 3 weeks.
Oh man, I can't wait to look. Let's beat Syracuse. We'll do that podcast tomorrow. Thank you for all the love. Plank Time, Joshua, everybody else. 904, Jimmy Benjamin. Who else we got here? Lakers all day. Dope. Fight. He says fire the DC. I never talk about letting anybody go on this show because that's families involved. I'm not that dude, but I'm just saying the defense, they play well. Let's see if they do it against Syracuse. Because let's be honest, Wake Forest was a horrible team. Team. Syracuse Nickelback says, I want Fletcher, Lau, and the new freshman back next year. Allen would be cool to still have, but Fletcher and Lau need most of this now. Okay. Look, to me, Lau and Fletcher, same thing. You know what I mean? Let's see. Kansas has a nice running back. Omari Hampton at NC is nice. All right. So we'll see you tomorrow. Win some money. Hook it up. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. Forrest, where are you going to be this weekend?
I am going to be nowhere. I have the weekend off. So
good for you, man.
But go to ForrestShaw.net. I got lots of shows coming up. I'll be in the New York City area. I'll be in Las Vegas at the Comedy Cellar for the end of December. ForrestShaw.net. All my shows are there.
All right. And I'm on tour right now, michaelyo.com. 2 weeks from now, Cincinnati. Me and Rudy are going to be in Cincinnati, so that'll be dope. We'll see you at Funny Bone, I believe, in Cincinnati. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the subscribes. We really appreciate it. Later.